So today we're going to talk about male suicide, the manosphere, and what people get wrong about what is happening to men in this country. I'm going to try and do it well. I do a quick workout and I hang out with my son. And man, I hope it all makes sense. Hey guys, my name is Steve Mayeda and I'm a men's coach in Austin, Texas. I'm a BJJ practitioner, a Wim Hof enthusiast. I have an amazing family, 4 awesome boys and a beautiful wife. And what this podcast is about being the better man. What we talk about is tried and true because we've been doing it with groups of men just like you for over 12 years. Listen up, and I hope you enjoy. So the other day, also while doing a workout, I did a video about male suicide and how it's on the rise and male addiction and all these different things that become problems for males. And I also run a men's group, Austin Men's Development, and you can go to the Facebook group where kind of this discussion spurred a new direction. This leads into a lot of the arguments for the men's rights movement, stuff in the manosphere, what you hear in the red pill, what you hear in the MGTOW forums, discussion boards, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not denying there's a problem. I am absolutely saying there's a problem, and my job and what I do deals directly with that problem, meaning that my career is working with men who are addicted to drugs and alcohol. My career is working with men who have social problems due to a lack of confidence, due to lack of experience, due to insecurities, due to many of the social problems that helped create these. This is my job, and that's what I do 100% of my time for 12 years of my life. And also that being my job, I'm one of the best in the world at it. And this is why I get so pissed off about what the manosphere has created. Not because there aren't problems with masculinity. There absolutely are, and I work with them daily. But because the solution that is created from that, not even proposed by the red pill or MGTOW and so on, but the cultures of them have created a backlash of masculinity that ultimately makes men weaker, perpetuates male suicide, perpetuates addiction, and more than likely, for many of the members of the manosphere out there, it perpetuates weakness. It perpetuates you feeling out of place, less than, unworthy, and unfit for the world. And so that's what we want to look at today. So let's say you're a young man and you have a problem. You have a problem with drugs and alcohol, or you have a problem with feeling less than, or you have a problem where you're considering suicide, or you're massively depressed. But you're a young man and you have a problem. What most men do, and all human beings do when they have a problem, is they look to why. What caused that problem? Why do I have it? What created it? Why is it so bad? Are other people like me? And so on. And the more you look at that, the more you maintain a victim mentality. Meaning you start going, oh, this is why, because society, because of people, because of my ex, because I was raised by a single mother, because of all these reasons, it now clearly states why I have a problem. Now, what's interesting in all of that is none of that has a solution. And this is human nature. We think that we are going to find the solution in our pain, in examining our pain and researching that pain. Yet every single person who has had a major problem in their life and resolves it and sustains that resolve takes a completely different path. Now you might be saying, Steve, what's wrong with looking at the reasons and the causes, what caused these problems, and why can't we prevent them? And you might even be saying, you know what, Steve, you're a piece of because these problems exist, you're denying them, you're a member of, whatever conspiracy is against us and so on. But see, here's the thing, is I get that these problems exist. I work within men and solve these problems directly. But what I'm saying is that if you are having a problem, your solution is not going to be finding out the why. The why is very important. To change society is very important. But if you are in pain and you have a problem and you consistently try and seek out the answer in that why, what happens? And before I get to that, I want to make this clear that if you have a problem like drug addiction or suicide or you're depressed, seek out help. Get the help you need. Do what people did who've had those problems and resolve them in exactly what they did. Seek out the information that those people have to say and don't get caught up in the blame. See, if you're a young man and you're in pain, you're depressed, you're possibly suicidal, you have addiction problems, you have relationship problems, you're addicted to porn, all these different things, yes, that was created out of something. That is most likely not your natural state. If everything went right in your life, you would not have those problems. But if you have that problem and you get obsessed about the why, how society wronged you, how your mother wronged you, how your father wronged you, all these different things, it starts to make you do something. It starts to make you blame other people. It starts to make you think that the answer isn't solving your problem, but solving all of society's problem with this. And then you get involved with causes. You get involved in polarizing issues. You start thinking that the most important thing in your life is to prevent this from happening to any other man. And this makes sense. This makes perfect sense all the way through until we start to get to men who for many years never solved those problems, get filled with hate, with anger. They think the solution is that they aren't friends with certain people, like maybe feminists, or maybe people who are liberals, or maybe people who have X, Y, and Z. And the more and more we get isolated with this thought, we think that preventing the outside world from harming us is how we gain happiness. And see, I do not know a man who has wisdom, who has happiness, who has integrity, who has any of the qualities that make one great, respectable, and probably something that you want, that finds their solution in pain. And see, here's the thing, that whatever your problems are, your major problems are, most likely there's a societal, cultural, personal component of somebody else or something else creating that out of you. But that's always going to be the case. Life is supposed to do that to you. Life is supposed to challenge you in all those ways. For every single living being that walks this earth, you are going to have pain. You are going to have challenges. But what makes you great isn't how you have that pain fester in you and make you hate other people or judge other people or polarize the universe or thinking that because somebody's wearing a red hat or not wearing a red hat is your enemy. Pain is that thing that gives you perspective. It allows you to see the strength in yourself. It allows you to know that you can be that man that walks on this earth. That you can be somebody that stands on your own 2 feet. No matter what happens to me, I can live. But if you're so busy fighting other people's wars, the cause 1,000 miles away or the cause in your backyard, fueled by your personal pain that needs to be resolved starting within you first, all you're gonna do is justify your anger so you can be it more. So what is the solution here? It's definitely not ignoring the problem. It's definitely not ignoring the why. It's definitely not sitting in your own depression and accepting that. But what the solution here is a process. It is that in order for you to fix all the social problems that are out there, is it needs to start with yourself. And 100% it needs to start with yourself. And just an example of this, and I brought this up in the suicide video the other day, is for me with addiction, there are many things about our society, our culture, how I was raised, my parents, that helped contribute to making me a drug addict. But in order for me to get a needle out of my arm, in order for me to stop living in that way, in order for me to stop using, lose the desire, and find a new way to live, I needed to put that on me. I could only focus on me. And for 3, possibly even 4 years, I didn't worry about any of the socioeconomic reasons that helped create addiction in myself and so many other people. See, once I could get past a lot of that, once I could fix the things inside me, and once I could honestly stop being resentful that I had a problem with drugs. I mean, if you hear my opinion on it now, man, I think drugs are great. I just can't do them. And I truly needed to stop resenting them, stop needing to take a side about things and polarize myself, to start working on some of those socioeconomic reasons that cause addiction. And I do that. And so if you think that the reason why you're sad and upset and you can't get a girlfriend, or you're depressed, or that you're suicidal or a drug addict and so on, if you think that's because of somebody else, you're probably right. But right now, if you are still mad about that, if that makes you angry, and I'll go even further to say that if you think solving this problem means that you need to get obsessed about some cause, then you need to work on yourself first. And that is the solution. And really quickly, how we do that is, number one, we stop making this about fighting the big fight. We'll get there. I can guarantee you with that. We start looking at ourselves. Maybe you're suicidal or you're massively depressed. Get help now. Do not hesitate on that. Call the psychiatrist, get an appointment, a therapist, a psychologist, a counselor, you name it. Get diagnosed, get what you need. And then, more importantly, join a support group of people who are struggling with depression and who have found a way to live. That's who you need to listen to now. If you're somebody that's struggling with addiction, maybe you need to go into a rehab or a detox center. But you got to get clean. You need a separation from you and that drug or that behavior that is getting you stuck in active addiction. And after that, once again, more importantly, join a support group of members who have been addicted just like you, and now they no longer are. That is a key factor in this. If you're somebody that's divorced, if you're somebody that's sad, if you're somebody that's a weak man, if you're somebody that makes all the wrong decisions in life, get with people who have had that problem and have beat it. Not people bitching about it, complaining about it, blaming the government, blaming feminism, blaming Trump, blaming Obama, blaming our culture, capitalism, socialism, whatever it is, and get with people who've had your exact problem and have beat it. I can guarantee you this, it's not nearly as fun as sitting around and blaming other people and getting angry because you're pissed off about your life. But it will fix you. And in the long run, which all great things take time, that's the road to being a great man.